Behind the scenes, Dr. Paul's family has been through a tragic event, but his remarkable caring for animals has touched the lives of millions. Charles, the loving son of Dr. Paul, suffered a tragic loss that altered the course of his life irrevocably. Charles, where are you? Also, how did the Paul family feel about this tragedy? Join us as we reveal the tragic backstory that no one has told you. Paul Charles. The narrative of the adored veterinarian's son, who became famous through his father, the legendary Dr. John Paul, is one of profound tragedy, triumph, and prosperity. Famous for his work as both an actor and producer on his father's show, Charles has been an integral part of millions of viewers' introduction to the fascinating world of animal care. But there's another, less publicized aspect of Charles's existence that exists outside from the spotlight and the family's ascent to stardom. Filled with hardships and tragedies that the majority of fans may be unaware of. From his early years spent at home with his parents and pets to his time spent working as a television producer and, most importantly, his pivotal role in Dr. Paul's phenomenal success, this script delves into Charles Paul's life. Behind the scenes, Charles has encountered tremendous obstacles, and we will explore them as well, illuminating a narrative that is both inspiring and heartbreaking. Charles Paul's life, which began on March 6, 1979, in Michigan's Central Region, was nothing short of extraordinary. Charles grew up in a household where animals were more than just pets thanks to his adoptive parents, Dr. Jan Paul and Diane. In many ways, they were like a family. Just picture yourself as a kid, living in a neighborhood full of cows, with pigs serving as your personal alarm and a veterinary clinic serving as your second home. Charles was thrown headfirst into the chaos of farm life when he was a child. As his peers engaged in electronic gaming or baseball card collecting, Charles tended to his dad's goats and collected scalpels. The family motto was, "Don't step in manure, work hard." Charles began working on the farm with his dad as soon as he could grasp a bucket. He learned to love animals and deal with the constant commotion by honing his sense of humor. The veterinary field, however, did not satisfy Charles. He had aspirations beyond the confines of the barn, regardless of how exciting it was to witness his dad's attempts to subdue a 500-pound cow. Charles daydreamed about being a Hollywood star while his dad dealt with frightened horses. He aspired to breathe life into tails, but without the odor of cow pies. Thus, he embarked on a journey of self-discovery, leaving behind the muddy, furry, and farm-related memories of his youth. Charles discovered his calling in television production, where he became the genius behind the fantastic Dr. Paul, armed only with grit and, most likely, a pair of boots. Even though Charles didn't go into veterinary medicine like his father, he did find a way to bring his unique perspective to the family's remarkable story, demonstrating that although the family farm may have been ordinary, the youngster was anything from ordinary. Charles Paul possessed a natural talent for storytelling and could captivate an audience, be it a group of people, a barn full of animals, or even strangers, from a young age. Charles Paul's interests lay squarely in the entertainment industry, in stark contrast to his father Dr. Jan Paul's lifelong commitment to veterinary practice. Charles attended the University of Miami and majored in communications after finishing high school, which was a huge step towards realizing his goals. He was itching to escape the rural life of central Michigan and pursue a profession that would take him far from the farm animals and rolling fields of his childhood. Although many expected him to continue his father's work with cow manure and syringes, Charles had other ambitions, ones that include screenplays, cameras, and the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. After finishing college, Charles made haste to move to the center of cinema and television, Los Angeles, in the hopes of breaking into the entertainment industry. While there, he interned at well-known production businesses, giving him invaluable exposure in the industry. The change was not smooth. Despite coming from a very different background in rural America, Charles was able to succeed in Hollywood thanks to his parents' work ethic, his natural inquisitiveness, and his perseverance. During his stay in Hollywood, Charles had the opportunity to learn from renowned figures in the field, such as Sidney Pollack and Edward James Olmos. Although challenging, his internships gave him an excellent look at how Hollywood operates behind the scenes. He became proficient in production. From navigating demanding schedules to mastering the craft of screen storytelling, Charles's early years were crucial. They gave him the self-assurance to go after his lofty ambitions and the technical know-how to succeed in the film and television industries. In the long run, this would provide the groundwork for his part in making the incredible Dr. Paul, the program that turned his family's small-town veterinarian practice into a worldwide sensation. Despite leaving behind the simplicity of farm life for the glitz of Hollywood, Charles's beginnings would play a significant role in shaping his greatest achievement. Charles Paul's true love was his family and the extraordinary environment in which he was raised, even if he had big dreams of making it big in Hollywood. After a long career in show business, Charles had a revelation. His favorite tale would be a reality TV series chronicling his family's veterinary clinic and the adventures of his father, Dr. Jan Paul. There was nothing on television that could compare to Dr. Paul's enormous personality, his no-nonsense approach to veterinary medicine, and his extraordinary devotion to animals. It was in 2011 when Charles first suggested the idea of a sitcom based on his father's rural Michigan veterinarian clinic. He recognized the importance of showing his father's remarkable work and also wanted to convey how rewarding and difficult it is to provide veterinary care in a rural area. Charles presented the idea to National Geographic Wild with grit and his background in the field. Incredible Dr. Paul came into our world when the network saw the Paul family's narrative and their irresistible charisma. The show's debut was later that year, and viewers were captivated by its combination of humorous moments, educational insights, and uplifting moments. It became an instant smash. Charles did double duty, both as an executive producer and a regular cast member. His wit, his close relationship with his dad, and his knowledge of what goes on behind the scenes were all vital to the success of the show. With Charles's help, the miraculous Dr. Paul catapulted the family to stardom. In addition to highlighting the importance of the bond between humans and animals, the show provided an honest look at the pros and cons of rural veterinary care. Thanks to Charles's foresight and labor, the show's storyline maintained its sincere and captivating nature. Faithful to the family's heritage, winning over viewers all around the globe. Charles Paul's personal life has been filled with emotional ups and downs, despite his impressive professional achievement. In 2018, a very happy event occurred when Charles wed Beth Oakes, a longtime friend of the Paul family and a childhood acquaintance of Charles's. Their friendship and the memories they shared over the years laid the groundwork for their eventual romantic relationship. Family, friends, and admirers of the remarkable Dr. Paul were all there to celebrate Charles's wedding, which was a joyous moment for everyone involved. As soon as fans witnessed the sincere bond and joy that Charles and Beth offered to one another, their love story became a fan favorite. Abigail was born to the happy couple in 2019, adding another member to their family. As he welcomed a new chapter in his life as a father, Charles continued to delight his fans with his trademark humor and unwavering commitment. The birth of a son to the Paul family in 2021, just 2 years after Charles's marriage, cemented his position as a doting parent. After experiencing the ups and downs of parenthood, Charles had a better appreciation for the importance of family and the difficulties of juggling one's professional and personal responsibilities. Charles has persistently put his family first, despite the responsibilities of producing a popular TV show. This shows that he finds happiness not just in front of the camera, but also in the company of his loved ones. Tragically, Charles Paul suffered a loss that rocked the Paul family to their very core amidst Dr. Paul's amazing success and the joy of his expanding family. Adam Butch, who was brother-in-law of Charles, died suddenly in September 2019 at the age of 23. Charles's sister Kathleen Paul adored Adam, and he was a treasured part of their tight-knit family. There will never be anyone to take Adam's place after his tragic demise. Adam had been dear to Charles and the rest of the Paul family when he was a young man full of promise, taking an active role in their celebrations and everyday life. His death was a terrible blow to his loved ones and a sobering reminder of how fragile and unpredictable life can be. The loss struck close to home for Charles, who had a magnetic personality and a gift for making others feel better. During this difficult period, he did his best to be there for his sister and the rest of the family, acting as their emotional rock. Fans of the show and others who followed them on social media could see the Paul family's sadness as they opted to grieve privately. The tragic loss of Adam brought home how short life is and how much we should treasure those we love. The tragedy exposed the humanity beneath the Paul family's public face, proving that even famous people may experience pain. After already shouldering the burden of juggling his career and his own expanding family, Charles's death of Adam was a tragic turn in an otherwise happy story. The tragedy strengthened the already strong closeness between the Paul family, who seldom publicly discussed the severity of their loss. It served as a gentle reminder to viewers that the Pauls are just like any other family, struggling through tough times with a strong sense of unity, love, and resilience behind the scenes of their veterinary success stories. It says a lot about Charles's character that he can be strong for his family even when things go tough, while he still bears the burden of this devastating loss. After suffering through such a devastating loss, Charles Paul sought comfort in his loved ones and his profession. After suffering a devastating loss with his brother-in-law Adam Butch, Charles was able to transform his sorrow into a fresh determination. He used his position to motivate and inspire others through his work on Dr. Paul and other creative endeavors. He showed his faith in the restorative power of connection and storytelling by gently weaving themes of optimism, perseverance, and the value of cherishing loved ones into the play. A silent champion for mental health awareness, Charles also became. His actions spoke more than words, even though he was quiet about his personal struggles. Many followers respected the Pole family's vulnerability and strength during tough times, and many connected with his ability to keep creating meaningful material after such a loss. In his approach, Charles emphasized the significance of reaching out for help, discovering one's life's purpose, and maintaining relationships with loved ones, especially when times get tough. The perseverance of the Paul family throughout this time moved people all across the globe. As an example of character strength and the capacity to transform suffering into purpose, Charles's steadfast commitment to his loved ones, his career, and his own development gives hope to everyone around him. Being born into a renowned family has its advantages, but Charles Paul has also had to overcome some of the difficulties that come with being famous. Charles has not been spared the continual scrutiny that comes with living a life in the spotlight. He has been the center of controversy and criticism in his role as executive producer of The Incredible Dr. Paul. Some groups and individuals have taken issue with the show's portrayal of certain veterinarian procedures over the years. The show's sincerity and the Paul family's commitment to animal care are appreciated by many viewers. However, some viewers have raised concerns about the procedures depicted, leading to discussions in professional and social circles. Charles has not had an easy time navigating these controversy. He has had to walk a fine line as the show's motor, protecting the show's authenticity but also responding to audience complaints. Playing the part has tested his diplomatic skills, tenacity, and dedication to keeping the show true to itself while yet honoring its viewers. Charles has had to deal with both professional and personal issues, such as internet rumors and conjecture over his private life. Dealing with rumors, baseless accusations, and occasionally harsh criticism from total strangers has been a part of being in the spotlight. After everything that has happened, Charles's dedication to his family has not wavered. Coupled with the objective of the program, Charles has remained resilient in the face of fame's demands by drawing on the courage he received from his parents, Dr. Jan and Diane Paul, and their emphasis on family values. Behind the scenes of his public demeanor and the cameras is a man who is incredibly committed to his job, his family, and the principles that make up the Paul heritage. His ability to persevere in difficult times is evidence of his character. Without a doubt, Charles Paul's impact on reality television has been cemented by his work on The Amazing Dr. Paul. His contributions as both an executive producer and an on-screen personality have been crucial in developing the show's distinctive charm. Charles was able to bring the rural United States and mainstream media together through The Marvelous Dr. Paul, highlighting the inherent difficulties and raw beauty of veterinary work in a manner that speaks to audiences all around the world. Through his brilliant combination of authentic storytelling and fascinating characters, Charles has successfully transported the Paul family's strong work ethic and fundamental principles to homes throughout the globe. His followers and colleagues in the sector admire his commitment to portraying the harsh reality of rural living and animal care with humor and love. But Charles's most lasting impact was as a husband and father, far from the limelight of television. Charles's dedication to his family has never wavered, even in the face of immense personal tragedy, such as the death of his brother-in-law, and the demands of celebrity. His unwavering commitment to his wife Beth and their children, Abigail and their son, is a reflection of his fundamental conviction in the significance of cultivating and nurturing an encouraging household. The story of Charles's life serves as a reminder that material prosperity isn't everything. Being able to gracefully, resiliently, and lovingly overcome life's unavoidable adversities is the true measure of success. That he can keep being an outstanding professional and a devoted family guy is a great reflection on his character. Characterized by tenacity, affection, and resolve, Charles Paul's narrative is an inspiration. Charles has been consistent throughout his life, from his humble beginnings on the family farm to his illustrious television career. He has endured unfathomable tragedy, but he has found a way to turn his suffering into strength. A life lived through hardship is a life lived to the fullest, and Charles Paul's narrative is a potent reminder of this. Despite the hardships he endured, his story shows how far the human spirit may go. Charles Paul's life, as the son of Dr. Jan Paul, is a tale of both great joy and profound tragedy. From his humble beginnings helping out on the family farm with his dad to his successful Hollywood career and the creation of the hit reality show The Incredible Dr. Paul, Charles has experienced the highs and lows of public adulation and personal hardship throughout his life. His personal struggles have molded him into the person he is today, even though his professional achievement is indisputable. In the face of the unanticipated tragedy that befell his brother-in-law Adam Butch, Charles has shown remarkable resiliency. The resilience and moral fiber he inherited from his parents shine through in his capacity to persevere, taking comfort in his career and his loved ones,